2. In the name of the Vice Chancellor, we'd like to welcome all of us here to this inaugural lecture, the 359th edition.
I have on it. Test to see if it's working. Hello?
Two. May I, with due respect, ask all of us to please stand for the Vice Chancellor's procession for the 359th inaugural lecture.
Please sit down. Thank you. We're here this afternoon for the 359th inaugural lecture of this university. And the inaugural lecture is to be delivered by Professor Motunrayo Funke Olumakaiye. Professor Olumakaiye is a professor of public health nutrition in the Department of Family Nutrition and Consumer Sciences, Faculty of Agriculture, and now in the Department of Human Nutrition and Dietetics, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, here at Obafemi Awolowo University. She has a Master of Science degree in Human Nutrition in 2000 and a PhD degree in public health nutrition in 2007 from the University of Ibadan, and a postgraduate diploma in international foods and nutrition security from Wageningen University and Research Center, the Netherlands, in the year 2009. Her research focus is on vulnerable groups, school children, adolescents, and women of reproductive age. Professor Olumakaiye is a fellow of African Women in Agricultural Research and Development, 2011 to 2013, a Bill and Melinda Gates sponsored award, African Nutrition Leadership Program by Netherlands Government, 2008, University Administration Support Program Research Management and Leadership by IREX, Washington, D.C., in the year 2020. She has won research grants from Unilever Research and Development Netherlands, NROF TED Fund, Nigeria, Carnegie Corporation, New York, and Australia Agency for International Development. Professor Olumakaiye had a distinction in 2010 when Biomed Library USA rated one of our publications in the Journal of Nutrition, Education, and Behavior, Volume 42, Issue 3, as first in the top 10 rating of articles published worldwide in the domain of school children and adolescents nutrition. This was for 4 consecutive years, 2010 to 2013. She's a consultant to the Imperial College London, Partnership for Child Development, United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, Unilever PLC, and the Osun State government on school feeding program. It is therefore not surprising that this afternoon we have the representative of the executive governor of the state of Osun, because the governor is unavoidably absent, and we have Dr. Charles Akindiji Akinola representing the governor here. So, Professor Olumakaiye is an active member of the Nutrition Society of Nigeria, American Society for Nutrition, Nutrition Society UK, Family and Consumer Science Association of Nigeria, where she is the national treasurer, among others. She has over 40 publications in reputable local and international journals to her credit. Professor Olumakaiye is a renowned professor, and she has contributed a lot and impacted so many lives by virtue of our research and our academic program. So we now listen to Professor Olumakaiye as he delivers the 359th inaugural lecture of this university, titled Smart Things, Understand the Magic Bullet to Break Malnutrition Cycle. Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, Principal Officers of the University, Provost of Colleges, Deans of Faculties, Directors, members of the University Senate, heads of departments, Obafemi Awolowo University staff, articulate and ever-conscious students of Great Ife, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with nostalgia that I stand before you to deliver the 359th inaugural lecture series of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Nigeria. It is part of my 50th Golden Jubilee birthday celebration package, as I am still basking in the euphoria. I would simply admit that finding myself at this stage in life and the field of public health nutrition has been predestinated by God. The Holy Bible statement, as written in John chapter 3, verse 27, that a man can receive nothing unless it has been given to him from heaven, aptly suits me. Therefore, I ascribe all glory to the only wise God and my great supporter. This inaugural lecture provides a platform for me to present the body of research that I have been focusing on during my career, providing the key highlights of my contributions to knowledge, emphasizing the depth of research, identifying knowledge gaps, and showing how to further research in my field of specialization. The research knowledge I have acquired over the period up to becoming a professor is used to dissect a problem and provide solutions in public health nutrition. This is the basis of today's lecture. The beginning. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, when I was in secondary school between 1984 and 1988, my food and nutrition teacher, Mrs. Adesomi, was a very decent woman. As a young girl growing up, I secretly admired her and thought that her decency could have resulted from the subject she was teaching. I then decided to study nutrition at the university because I wanted to be like her. Many of my teachers thought that I would study medicine or pharmacy because I was considered a bright science student. I won many prizes for the school as a member of Literary and Debating Society, representing the school in inter-school debate and science quiz competitions. I made all results in one sitting in the West African School Certificate Examination and General Certificate Examination of 1988. When it was time for me to choose a course of study in the university, my father asked me to know the course I wanted to study, and I told him outrightly, human nutrition. He did not suggest or impose otherwise. Being a veteran educationist, secondary school principal, chief examiner in WAEC, and a career counselor, he gladly accepted my choice. Having done my investigation, I wanted to go to the University of Ibadan, the only university I knew offered the course in the Southwest region. My father advised me to investigate if OAU offered a related course. I was not aware of any until my immediate elder brother, a student in OAU, came home and informed me that there was a nutrition-related program in the Department of Agricultural Extension and Rural Sociology. All I wanted was to earn a degree in nutrition, and that was all that mattered. I sat for the UTME in 1989, passed at the first attempt, and was admitted to study foods and nutrition, my first choice course. I eventually graduated in 1995 and proceeded to NYSC program in Osun State in 1996. In 1997, I got married as a core member to a man who supported me in achieving my goal in life. In 1998, my husband brought an envelope containing an application form for postgraduate studies from the University of Ibadan, and I filled in human nutrition for my master's degree. I was awarded a Master's of Science degree in human nutrition in 2000. In the same way, in 2002, he came back with this similar envelope, and I said, "Not me, I am done." He insisted, and I applied for a PhD program in public health nutrition, which I concluded in 2007. That was how the journey started. Today, I am what I am, a professor of public health nutrition by the grace of God and the unflinching support of my heartthrob. These events, for me, accentuated the truth that indeed the footsteps of the righteous are ordered by God, and he grants their heart's desires. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I am standing in this prestigious auditorium today to give an account of my stewardship from the humble beginning as an assistant lecturer employed on August 1, 2002, and climbed the rungs of the ladder to become a professor on October 1, 2016, 14 years after I was employed. The nutrition unit of the department has metamorphosed into a full-fledged Department of Human Nutrition and Dietetics, now in the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, College of Health Sciences. This is the second inaugural lecture delivered by the staff of the Department of FNC and the first on nutrition. Also, it is the first in the newly established Department of Human Nutrition and Dietetics. The trajectory navigated has been a long one spanning 2 decades. I am here to succinctly capture and present what I have done so far with the title, Smart Teens Understand the Magic Bullet to Break Malnutrition Cycle, journey to the world of adolescent nutrition. As a young academia, it was sung into our hearing by senior colleagues at the annual departmental review meetings, where recommendations for promotions are made that we should be focused on our research area right from beginning. I decided to carve a niche for myself in adolescent nutrition, having done my PhD research in that domain. I took interest and decided to up a notch in the nutrition of the vulnerable groups, including children, adolescent girls, and women of reproductive age. Who is an adolescent? According to World Health Organization, adolescence, the transitional phase of growth and development between childhood and adulthood, is defined as anyone within the age range of 10 and 19 years. It is an important time for laying the foundation of good health and the second fastest period of growth after infancy. During this phase, adolescents establish patterns of behavior, for instance, related to diet, physical activity, substance abuse or use, and sexual activity. They can protect their health and the health of others around them, or put their health at risk now and in the future. It is also a time to develop knowledge and skills important for enjoying the adolescent years and assuming adult roles. Most adolescents are included in the age-based definition of child, adopted by the Convention on the Rights of the Child, as a person under the age of 18 years. Other overlapping terms used interchangeably are teens, 13 to 19 years, youth, 15 to 24 years, and young people, 10 to 24 years. Adolescence is categorized into early adolescence, 10 to 13 years, mid-adolescence, 14 to 16 years, and late adolescence, 17 to 19 years. What is the problem with adolescents? There are 1.3 billion adolescents, which make up 16% of the world's population, with 90% living in low, medium-income countries, including 23% living in sub-Saharan Africa. Adolescents in developing countries are challenged nutritionally with depleting nutrient stores, predisposing them to compromised immunity and high morbidity and mortality now and in later years. Cases of non-communicable diseases, such as diabetes and nutrition-induced cancers, are now being recorded among adolescents. They engage in unhealthy dietary behavior, which leads to malnutrition. Malnutrition occurs when there is a deficit or surplus in food intake compared to energy expended. It can lead to undernutrition or overnutrition, and both coexist, coupled with micronutrient deficiency. These are exacerbated by inappropriate or unhealthy food choices and behavior. Little or no attention is given to this age group to ensure a healthy lifestyle and adequate nutritional intake in preparation for adulthood. Intervention programs are usually targeted towards infants, under 5 children, school-aged children, and pregnant women, with little or no consideration for equally vulnerable adolescents. Although both male and female adolescents are at risk, females are particularly more vulnerable to malnutrition. According to Bill Gates, at the World Nutrition Summit in 2016, I quote, "Nutrition affects everything about child's development, and it even affects everything about education and economic development. If I had one magic power to solve the world's challenges, nutrition would be that power. Nutrition belongs to the top of the list, and investment in nutrition can help make every other investment in health and development pay off," unquote. Today, the world is talking about sustainable development goals. There are 17 of them, out of which 12 have indicators relevant to nutrition. Nutrition must be brought to the front burner for a nation to prosper, putting the right peg in the right hole to champion the cause. Why adolescent girls? In Nigeria, undernutrition in female adolescents ranges between 23 and 58% and is attributed to socioeconomic and dietary factors. Dietary behavior and nutritional status of female adolescents are becoming a major concern because they determine health outcomes. Aside from dietary behavior, maternal conditions mortality among girls aged 15 to 19 years. Globally, approximately 12 million girls aged 15 to 19 years give birth each year in developing countries. In Nigeria, an estimated 23% of 15 to 19-year girls have begun childbearing, and 1 million give birth before age 15. Pregnant undernourished female adolescents may likely give birth to undernourished babies with low birth weight, who die at birth or before age 2 years, thereby contributing to the increase in maternal, infant, and under 5 mortality rate or stunted growth at adulthood. Likewise, an overweight female gives birth to an overweight child, and the intergenerational vicious cycle of malnutrition continues. A focused intervention program is vital to improving female adolescents' dietary and sexual behavior. The transformative shift for sustainable development involves ensuring that female adolescents have access to quality nutrition in preparation for productive and reproductive life. Only healthy individuals impact the economy positively and do not clog up hospital services. Adolescent girls are now becoming women of reproductive age. It's a case of a baby carrying baby. We do not have to wait until malnourished children are born by malnourished mothers before we start addressing them, as in the case of maternal and child nutrition. Adolescence has been identified as a window of opportunity to solve malnutrition problems. Despite calls for action, it has remained neglected. I decided to delve into adolescent nutrition to promote a healthy start to life for the next generation by addressing health and nutritional risk in adolescent girls. Having identified the research lacuna, my research focuses on promoting healthy diet in adolescents, one of the evidence-informed interventions and policies for adolescent nutrition proposed by WHO. These were achieved by assessing behavioral profiles, dietary patterns, and main influences of adolescents in the context of their social and psychosocial development. For my current research activities, the adolescents were reached through the school platform. Specifically, in-school adolescent girls were targeted to become change agents to out-of-school adolescent girls in society. Nutrition education, promotion, and communication were adopted to inform, educate, and train adolescent girls on the why, how, and when adequate nutrition is needed to live a healthy and productive adult life. For my research activities, 2 conceptual frameworks were adopted. They are, number 1, WHO conceptual framework of nutritional problems in adolescents, and number 2, poor nutrition throughout the life cycle. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, my research activities contributed to nutrition and health data on the age group in southwestern Nigeria. I carried out research studies in 3 areas. Number 1, in-school adolescent girls as the main focus. Number 2, mothers and households, because these adolescent girls live within the household and mothers influence their food choices. And number 3, product development using underutilized, neglected, and nutritious food items to find solutions to the micronutrient deficiency among the age group. Nutritional status of school children, adolescents, and women of reproductive age. Before any intervention programs can be floated, the starting point is to assess the status quo. This was done by investigating the nutrition and health status of the in-school adolescents by disaggregating data according to location, according to setting, or by gender. I found out that there were clear-cut differences in the nutrition and health status between the rural and urban adolescents, those attending public and private schools, and between males and females. Olumakaiye 2008, Olumakaiye Itol 2010, Olumakaiye and Olodu 2012, Olumakaiye 2013B, and Olumakaiye 2015 investigated the high risk of undernutrition among the in-school adolescents. The studies revealed that the prevalence of underweight, less than 5th percentile, was higher among rural adolescents than urban, and higher among boys than girls in rural settings. At the same time, overweight and obesity, greater than 75th percentile, are higher in girls than boys in urban settings. Being overweight originally used to be regarded as a condition of the affluent. In recent times, it is now being recorded among the low-income group. Underweight was higher in public schools than private schools. For the age-specific patterns of BMI, underweight was observed in mid-adolescents, 14 to 16 years, among both boys and girls. Also among urban adolescents from age 14 years, which was the peak, although it was noticed as early as 12 years in the rural area. Underweight in both areas tapered off until age 19 in the rural areas, whereas none of the 19 years adolescents was underweight in the urban. In boys, underweight was higher in mid-adolescents due to increased farm activities in rural areas. There have been triple burden issues of malnutrition among in-school adolescents. As we battle undernutrition, overnutrition is emerging, and micronutrient deficiency, otherwise known as hidden hunger, is not far-fetched. Iron deficiency anemia is a pervasive public health problem among adolescents, girls in sub-Saharan Africa. Olumakaiye 2013A assessed the dietary iron intakes of adolescent females using dietary diversity as a proxy in relation to iron status. Non-iron deficient girls had a higher dietary diversity score, and iron deficient girls, heme iron sources, that is animal sources, were consumed lesser than non-heme iron plant sources. Girls with low DDS were at significantly higher risk than the high and moderate DDS groups. In general, there was a low dietary iron intake among in-school adolescent girls. Olumakaiye et al. 2021 conducted a study among women of reproductive age, which showed a high prevalence of iron deficiency. About 50% had hemoglobin of less than 12, and 31.1% had serum ferritin of less than 15. Also, 22% were underweight with BMI less than 18. 1 out of 4 of the women were at risk of cardiovascular disease judged by C-reactive protein. Association existed between hemoglobin and iron-rich foods consumption pattern, such as cereal, dark green leafy vegetables, and organ meat. It was concluded that underweight, overweight, and iron deficiency existed among the in-school adolescents and women of reproductive age in southwestern Nigeria. Determinants of in-school adolescent nutrition. Having confirmed the existence of the triple burden among adolescent girls in southwestern Nigeria, I further investigated the determinants. The role of snacking as a contributor to overweight among young people was investigated. Almost half of the students surveyed consumed snacks daily. 1/3 substituted snacks for either breakfast, lunch, or ate snacks in between meals. The prevalence of overweight was higher among females than males. Snack consumption positively related to overweight, and income had a positive association with snack consumption. It was concluded that snack consumption had implication on the nutritional status, especially overweight, in the study area. On the contrary, my study in another setting showed that snacks consumed in addition to other meals improved in-school adolescent BMI. If the food consumption patterns were not limited to 3 meals daily, but included snacks in between meals under nutrition could improve. There are strong direct relationships between food consumption and malnourishment. 3/4 of the world's population live in rural areas, which could be the reason for the inability of the in-school adolescent in the study area to consume 3 regular meals coupled with in-between meal snacks. However, the caveat is that snacks should not replace the main meals, as observed in the study by Olumakaiye et al. 2010. In another study, Bakare and Olumakaiye 2016 assessed students' fast food consumption patterns and body weight status. The findings revealed that more females consume fast foods than males. Females were more overweight and obese than males, which was significantly related to fast food consumption. It was concluded that snacks could positively or negatively contribute to nutrition status depending on the type of snacks consumed and whose ox is God. In a study, Olumakaiye 2015 observed that the nutritional status of children depended to a great extent on environmental conditions. The relationship between the nutritional status of children and the environmental hygiene practices of mothers was investigated. Most of the children scored above 5 out of the 6 points obtainable in the environmental hygiene condition checklist. There is no significant difference in the nutritional status of boys and girls. Underweight and overweight had significant relationships with environmental hygiene. We concluded that the environmental hygiene practice was high, which positively affected the nutritional status of children in the urban setting. Environmental hygiene determines infection rates, which affects nutrition status. Olumakaiye and Ajayi 2007 investigated adolescent food choices. The study established that taste preference is the primary determinant of food and drink selection among the in-school adolescents. Despite the high nutritional knowledge, protein foods were less preferred. Snacks high in fat and sugar were preferred to protein-rich snacks. Commercial drinks, such as fizzy drinks, were preferred to homemade non-alcoholic drinks, such as freshly squeezed fruit juices with higher nutritional content. We concluded that the adolescents' food choices were based more on taste preference than nutritional content, and the trend is the same among both urban and rural adolescents. The implication is continuous unhealthy eating behavior. The use of food labels is important in the choice of processed foods. The rate at which young people consume prepackaged foods products is on the increase. Consumption of PPF is a habit they cultivated from home and through peers. Olumakaiye et al. 2019a evaluated the impact of nutrition education on the use of food labels on PPF and purchase decision among young people. Females were 4 times more likely to use food labels in purchase decisions than males. Likewise, older participants were thrice more likely to use food labels in purchase decisions than the younger ones. This could be because older participants were more health conscious than younger people. The group was later exposed to nutrition education, which positively influenced the use of PPFL on purchase decisions of PPF products among the younger people. Peer pressure inversely affected the use of PPFL for purchase decisions. The young people were advised to take responsibility for their health. Another determinant of the nutritional status of in-school adolescents is household food consumption. Emerging evidence from Olumakaiye 2007 in an urban setting showed that household food consumption affects the health status of members of the households. It was observed that female household members of reproductive age tend to be malnourished due to inadequate nutrient intake because of inequity in intra-household food distribution compared to other age groups in the households. Women tend to give up their food for other household members in case of household food insufficiency. The women were on the margin between mild and normal malnutrition. An additional stress and strain on their body through illnesses, infections, or extra burden, such as pregnancy, can lead to severe malnutrition. Nigeria embarked on food fortification to accommodate the mandatory addition of vitamin A in line with the established nutritional policy. I investigated the level of awareness and utilization of the fortified food items among women. Awareness of the fortification was high, and very few could identify the fortified food items by the approved logo. Invariably, the utilization was low. A positive relationship existed between utilization and household size and women's education level, while each had a negative but significant relationship with utilization. The implication is that the in-school adolescents in such households will not have adequate access to fortified foods to mitigate micronutrient deficiency, especially vitamin A. We also investigate the possibility and suitability of Billion Cube as a vehicle for iron fortification. The results showed that sodium pyrophosphate used as a stabilizer to ferric pyrophosphate indicated a dose-response effect, which improved iron bioavailability. Teenage pregnancy is increasing today, resulting from the type of care mothers give to adolescent female children. Olumakaiye 2009 investigated the type of care mothers considered necessary for their adolescent females. Nutritional care and non-food care were the least important. Adolescents were left to fend for themselves, thereby predisposing them to hazard. Teenage pregnancy was high, out of which some terminated the pregnancies, while others had the babies. The habit of eating outside the home is common among this age group, which predisposes them to hazard. Olumakaiye et al. 2010. In terms of food consumption, eating outside the home could be positive or negative. Positive in that varieties may be eaten, while negative in that hygiene may be compromised, which could lead to infection depending on the outlet where the food is purchased. Another study analyzed the participation of adolescents in food processing within households. Involvements were generally low, and protein-rich foods were the least processed. Participation of adolescents and children in household food choices, food processing, and preparation will address the issue of skipping meals and nutrition security, which to a large extent have a long-term effect on their nutritional status. Mothers were advised to involve the girls and boys in food processing and preparation. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, from my numerous investigations, I found out that the determinants of nutritional status among school children and in-school adolescent girls are location, individual food consumption patterns, food choices, snacking, household food consumption, use of fortified food items, environmental hygiene practices in southwestern Nigeria, which corroborated the submission of WHO. Effects of poor nutrition on cognitive function of school children and adolescents. Olumakaiye and Olodu 2012 investigated the relationship between cognition and nutritional status among school children. The cognitive function was assessed using a modified Rev'd Scholar progressive matrix. About 60% of urban children were rated high against 30% in rural CF, which was statistically significant. The CF was cross-tabulated with nutritional status, and the results showed an association with undernutrition. The predictors, wasting and stunting, had a synergistic relationship with CF. Stunting, a reduced growth rate in human development, affects 1/3 of children in developing countries. This may lead to vital organs, including the brain, not to fully develop. Effects of food security on nutritional status of school children and adolescents. For school children and adolescents to be adequately nourished, food security is sine qua non. Determinants of household food insecurity were investigated across wide-ranging scenarios, rural, peri-urban, and urban areas, and comparisons were made based on the gender of household heads. Olumakaiye 2011 observed that more female-headed households are emerging due to high rates of divorce, single parenthood, and widowhood. Level of food insecurity was higher in female-headed households than male-headed households. The severity of food insecurity in rural households showed that age, income, and level of education inversely contributed to household food insecurity. However, only income was statistically significant, and household size contributed significantly and positively. The higher the household size, the higher the level of food insecurity. Olumakaiye and Ajayi 2006 observed that women with higher education provided more varieties of food for their households. I investigated the coping strategies adopted to mitigate food insecurity, which included skipping meals, eating less preferred food, fewer varieties, and lesser quantities. All these predispose adolescents and women of reproductive age to malnutrition. Product development and creative works. Snacking has been identified as one of the determinants of the nutritional status of school children and adolescents. Olumakaiye and Ogumba 2010 and Olumakaiye and Sunny 2013 developed new cookie recipes using soy flour, Benny seed, and plain flour blends, which were high in micronutrients and macronutrients. Method of cooking foods affects nutrient retention in food. I attended the International Union of Nutrition Societies 20th World Congress on Nutrition held in Granada, Spain in 2023. The developing countries were advised to go back to the underutilized and neglected food crops in their regions. All that is needed to live a healthy life is within reach. Research grants. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, in the quest of finding a way to fill the gap in health and nutrition of the aforementioned vulnerable groups, I won some research grants. The first was from the Unilever Research and Development, the Netherlands, titled Assessment of Bioavailability of Iron from the Iron 45 billion cubes among healthy Nigerian women in the context of Nigerian diet. I was the principal investigator. It was multinational research involving Nigeria, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and South Africa, conducted between May 2015 and 2018. The grant was $92,787 US. The second grant was from NRF TET Fund. I am the principal investigator. It was awarded in December 2020 and is ongoing. The project is titled Development of Nutrition Mobile Application as a tool to improve dietary behavior of adolescent girls in Nigeria. The grant is $29,120,000. It's a cluster randomized controlled design study that will be conducted in 3 geopolitical zones of Nigeria: Southwest, Southeast, and North Central. At the end of the project, I will develop a mobile nutrition app named Smart Adolescent Girls Nutrition App, SAGN, and will be available on Android and iOS for download with the logo indicated in Figure 15. The third grant I won was from Carnegie Corporation of New York. It is a collaborative effort of 5 fellows of the University Administration Support Program headed by Professor Kende Taiwo. The project is titled Strengthening and Popularizing Research Management in Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Nigeria. I am a co-principal investigator. The project started in April 2021 and is ongoing, and the worth is $15,000 US. The fourth was AUSAID Research Sub-Agreement between OAU and Murdoch University, Australia, titled, How Can Mining and Agriculture Work Together to Provide Equitable Economic Opportunities? It was a team of 9 experts, headed by Professor Shola Ajayi. I was the nutrition expert on the team. Future strategy. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I am not resting on my oars yet, knowing that if you rest, you rust. I have adopted 2 strategies to continue my pursuit among the vulnerable groups. They are role modeling. Nutrition clubs will be established in secondary schools named Smart Adolescent Girls Nutrition Club, Sagging Club. ICT, continuous use of Sagging app to disseminate healthy eating messages, services, and support. The expected outcome of these true strategies is dietary behavior change. I have decided to explore 2 avenues for the sustainability of my research programs, school-based programs and faith-based programs. As long as schools, churches, and mosques exist, the girls attend, the programs will continue to exist. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, having elucidated some of the conclusions from my numerous research works, and at the end of my sojourn in academia, I would like to see the following happen among the adolescent girls. Watch the amount and type of food they eat, use the food guide as a daily guide for eating, eat breakfast, snack smart with food group snacks in mind, choose foods lower in fats and sugars, enjoy the great flavor of fruits and vegetables, and try different varieties. Check nutrition facts on food labels to find the nutrients and calories in a single serving, and note what a single serving is. Eat at regular times and engage in physical activities. Healthy adolescents need to know that the foods they eat affect their growth. They are responsible for what they eat. They are accountable for their level of physical activity, and they can set goals and make decisions to improve their health. Adolescent girls who understand and practice all this are smart teens and have the magic bullet to break malnutrition cycle. They grow to become healthy adults, bringing forth healthy children, thereby reducing the prevalence of maternal and child mortality and morbidity in Nigeria. Distinctions. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, in my search for the golden fleece, I was awarded a couple of distinctions. In 2010, Biomedical Library USA rated my article titled Food Consumption Pattern of Nigerian Adolescents and Effect on Body Weight, published from my PhD thesis in the Journal of Nutrition, Education and Behavior, Volume 42, Issue 3, USA, as first in the top 10 rating of articles published worldwide in the domain of school children and adolescent nutrition. The article was rated #1 for 4 consecutive years, 2010 to 2013. In 2009, I was sponsored by the Netherlands government for postgraduate diploma in international foods and nutrition security. At a stiff and fierce debate on food and nutrition security, I won and was crowned Miss Food and Nutrition Security 2009. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, as a mark of scholarship and in recognition of my contribution, I have won several awards, fellowships, and travel grants, which accorded me the opportunity to travel to 5 continents: Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, and North America. I am a regular speaker at scientific conferences and world days, which took me to the USA, UK, Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, Israel, South Africa, Morocco, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Egypt, Kenya, Uganda, Burkina Faso, and Ghana. I am a fellow of African Women in Agricultural Research and Development by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. As a part of this award, I was sponsored to the World Congress in Melbourne, Australia in 2012, out of many other benefits. I am also a fellow of University Administration Support Program, Washington, D.C. In 2020, I won the prestigious Fellowship on Research Management and Leadership. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, I had virtual engagements with my host university, Wake Forest University, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, USA. I was featured in the 2021 May edition of the university's newsletter. Later, I went for an in-person fellowship as a visiting scholar for 5 weeks in 2021. While in the US, I was attached to the Office of Research and Sponsored Programs to understudy the research management and processes and building capacity in policy writing. As part of the fellowship, we are currently implementing reform in our university research administration sector in collaboration with the Central Office of Research. We are developing the capacity of early career researchers and administrative support office staff, and developing a standalone policy on research integrity and responsible conduct of research. I have also won several travel grants from Netherlands government, INF, FANUS, UN, Sight and Life Foundation 4 times, USAID twice, OAU Learned Conference. I am a consultant to the following organizations: Imperial College London, Partnership for Child Development on School Feeding Program; Unilever PLC, the Netherlands, on Product Development, Food Fortification and Testing; United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, on maternal and child health and nutrition; Osun State Government on School Feeding Program. I am a member of the Osun State Food and Nutrition Committee. In 2017, I was appointed as a member of a 12-man delegation representing Nigeria at an ECOWAS summit on harmonization of nutrition curricula for West African countries. The summits were held in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, and Accra, Ghana. I have supervised and co-supervised several undergraduate and postgraduate students. I am an internal examiner on postgraduate programs to the Institutes of Public Health, Departments of Community Health, Demography and Social Statistics, Physical and Health Education, and Food Science and Technology. I am an external examiner to the University of Ibadan and Ife Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti. To continue to be relevant in my chosen field, I am an active member of the American Society of Nutrition, US, the Nutrition Society UK, Nutrition Society of Nigeria, FANUS, ANLP, Vaccine, ANH, among others. At the completion of a research project, I donated some items to the nutrition laboratory, one of which is a bio-based -20°C deep freezer for storing biological specimens. Professional accomplishment. I led a team to establish the Department of Catering Craft Practice at the Federal Technical College, Ile-Ife. I developed the curriculum, designed and equipped the food laboratory with a grant from the federal government of Nigeria. I was involved in the monitoring and evaluation of the Osun State School Feeding Program, OMIL, and training of stakeholders on how to interpret and use the program implementation document in 2013. I was the keynote speaker during 2015 World Health Day, organized by Institute of Public Health, theme, Food Safety from Farm to Fork, and 2015 World Egg Day, organized by African Chicken Genetic Gains, Nigeria, theme, Benefits of Egg Consumption. I facilitated the registration of OAU in the financial system of Unilever Research and Development, the Netherlands, as a supplier of services. Leadership. To build capacity in leadership, I attended a couple of leadership programs and courses sponsored by NFP in South Africa, USAID in Kenya and Uganda, IREX in USA, and CON in Israel. I served as acting head of department for 2 years. I also served in the several capacities as chairperson, Departmental Examination Coordinating Committee, Documentation and Record Committee, Logistics and Entertainment Committee for the Faculty Week. I'm a member, Academic Planning Committee, Ad Hoc Committee on Faculty Handbook, Faculty Review Panel, Faculty Board of Studies, among others. In service to the scientific communities, I am an editorial board member and reviewer to some national and international journals. Challenges come to make us better, not bitter. The journey has not been without its challenges. Struggle, number one, for identity and appropriate placement as a public health nutritionist. For years, we have attempted to establish a standalone Department of Nutrition and Dietetics where public health nutrition belongs. Graduates of nutrition in OAU had suffered a slight setback because the program was domiciled in the Faculty of Agriculture. Many international opportunities were lost as a result of the wrong placement. We want to thank the National University Commission, NUC, for coming to the rescue by insisting that the department be domiciled in the College of Health Sciences, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, we want to appreciate you, OAU Senate, and Governing Council for the approval. Now that we have moved to the College of Health Sciences, I decided to deliver my inaugural lecture in the honor of the faculty that made me. Words are ineffable to appreciate the current and past deans and members of the Faculty of Agriculture, where I have worked for 2 decades. Working with you is one of the best things that happened to me in OAU. I am grateful. I want to thank the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences and College of Health Sciences. We look forward to more opportunities for further collaboration with departments in the faculty and the college. Second challenge, space allocation. Generally, it is a major challenge in OAU. Now that a new department has been created, there is the need for a standalone building designated for the department. I am using this medium to appeal to well-meaning Nigerians, philanthropists, government parastatals, companies and organizations to come to the rescue. Currently, the department is located far from the College of Health Sciences. There is a need to move closer for proximity. We need a building to house the departmental offices, staff, seminar rooms, classrooms, laboratory, library, and other students' facilities. Mentorship. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the area of mentorship cannot be handled with a kid's glove. It is very germane in career development. I have been mentored and monitored by the following: Professor Grace Ogbimi, my long-standing HOD, late Dr. Ayodare, Dr. Iyabo Adeyefa, late Professor Funke Ajayi, Professor Tola Atimo, completed the supervision of my PhD program and facilitated my first fully sponsored international conference attendance and paper presentation to Morocco. Professor Simisola Odenyinka is my official mentor from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Professor Femi Ajayi, Professor Shola Ajayi, Professor Simon Bamire, Dr. Pam Mosa, Wake Forest University, and Professor Femi Akisomi, my blood brother, Queensland University, Australia, mentored me in proposal writing using acceptable terminologies and languages to attract funders. He exposed me to international conferences, workshops, and opportunities in academia until maturity. In turn, to give back what I have learned over the years, I had the opportunity to mentor my students and undergraduate and postgraduate levels, too numerous to mention. Officially, I was involved in the formal mentoring of a staff, Dr. B.C. Bakari. Currently, I'm mentoring an assistant lecturer, Mrs. Bola Kokwola, in proposal writing, manuscript development for publication in high-impact journals, work-life balance, and general life in academia. Conclusion. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, public health nutrition is an area of specialization. Having garnered experience that spans over 2 decades is no small feat. For someone to be an expert in a chosen field, he or she must know some of the worst mistakes that can be made in the subject and how to avoid them. Nutrition is preventive medicine. Some health challenges are addressed by modifying the diets of individuals. The trajectory in the 21st century research world is collaborative. It could be suicidal if someone who did not study nutrition begins to recommend nutrition regimens. There is what is called personalized nutrition. Nutrition is not a case of what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. For the world to be a safer sphere to live in, we must work collaboratively, leaving the expertise to the experts in each field. Knowledge acquired over the years cannot be compared with knowledge received in 1 year of a short course, bearing in mind that one can only sell a thing one has proficiency in. If you desire to succeed, you cannot rule out professional help of those who have years of experience in all those fields that fall out of your expertise. Adolescent nutrition is a window of opportunity that has been identified to flatten the rising curves in maternal and child morbidity and mortality. The future generation we talk about starts now. Adolescents have a digital life found in mobile phones that makes them smart teens. Adolescent girls are razor sharp and have to be circumspect in dietary decisions to live a healthy adult life. Without any fear of contradiction, I have decided to leverage their digital life to improve their dietary behavior, which can be acquired through appropriate intervention programs specifically targeted towards them. Good dietary behavior is the magic bullet for smart teens to live a healthy lifestyle and break the malnutrition cycle. Recommendations. Based on the experience garnered over the years from the different academic and research climes, I have the following recommendations. There is a need for improvements in nutrition education, promotion, and communication to increase adolescent nutrition knowledge, improvements in nutrition education, promotion, and communication to increase mothers' nutrition knowledge, improvements in women's education status, women empowerment, use of labor-saving technologies, dietary diversity, involvement of adolescents in food processing, and youth empowerment. Empowering youth in skill acquisition could prepare them for future challenges in meeting the household needs. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. On that note, our almighty, all-knowing, and all-sufficient God deserves our praise. He is the Alpha and the Omega. We ascribe all glory for great things he has done. I must not forget the roles my late parents, Mr. Oluyemi and Mrs. Florence Akisomi, played in giving me a good head start in life before their demise. As the only girl among 4 boys, I sincerely appreciate them both. I wish they are alive to see the good things happening to their baby girl, Sisi Turayo. May their souls continue to rest in peace. Words are not enough to acknowledge my brother's role in my life. My elder brothers, Engineer Olumide Akisomi, a first-class graduate of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, OAU, and Professor Femi Akisomi, a first-class graduate of Plant Science, OAU, who are following us online. I was the only one that did not make a first class in my family. I love you dearly and thank you so much. To my younger brothers, Olufisayo and Olukunle, here present, I appreciate the encouragement you gave me, your sister Funke. To my parents in the Lord, the Most Reverend Dr. Ephraim Adebola and Mrs. Oluranti Ademowo, your mentorship in church leadership and prayers are appreciated. Thank you, Daddy and Mommy. To my in-laws, the Right Reverend Professor Dapo and Barrister Mrs. Harriet Ashaju, the former Vice Chancellor of Ajayi Crowther University, Oyo, my mother-in-law, and the entire Olumakaiye dynasty, thank you for your prayer and support. To all my colleagues in the Faculty of Agriculture, and particularly the Department of FNC and Human Nutrition and Dietetics, you are well appreciated for your support. Thank you to my professional colleagues from the University of Ibadan, other institutions, government parastatals, NGOs, industries, and private sectors for being so wonderful. This section will be incomplete without appreciating my God saints and my husband, the Most Reverend Dr. Humphrey Bamishebi Olumakaiye, PhD, Ibadan, the Diocesan Bishop of Lagos, Anglican Diocese, and the Archbishop of the Ecclesiastical Province of Lagos. What I am today is by the grace of God and by your support, encouragement, and reassurance. You brought out hidden virtues that I never knew I had. When I feel inadequate, you always tell me, Suns, you can do it. You are my cheerleader who supported me to attain this enviable position. You always said to me that my success is your success. It is your habit to always unlock potentials in people. Thank you so much, my sweetheart. My confidence, my advisor, my prayer partner, and unrepentant supporter. I want to thank our son, Richard, who is joining us online, for your cooperation and understanding when I was away from home, searching for opportunities. Richie, Mommy loves you dearly. You will make it with ease in life. To all my spiritual children, too numerous to mention, you are blessed. Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, my Lord Bishops and their wives, good people of Ijesha land, Osun Northeast Diocese and Lagos Diocese, friends and families, I lack the right word to appreciate you. Thank you so very much. To all my students, you are the best. Thanks for allowing me to rub on you. You will all make it in life. Now, unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us, be all glory, honor, dominion, and adoration forever and ever. Thank you all.